guys, we are in sunny Utah right now, feeling the sun. We're like, let's do it outside today so we can feel that warmth.
No, spring is the best. All the little flowers that pop up in the snow. It's so nice. I love it.
So, Kristen, I know we talk about this sometimes, but what's been going on in your life? I think I know
So
what's going on
I
in your
have been
life.
working 12-hour days because my mom had some property eminent domain and she had to find a new place to put my dad's passed away. And we had to find a new place to invest in or have to pay a whole bunch of capital gains. So we bought a place that's run down, and so we've been putting
She's
in
in the thick of
hours.
it. Right.
So, but
If you want to know
hopefully,
what I'm doing the same thing I'm doing. I mean, I'm still in chocolate. We have Easter right around the corner, so it's a really busy season. Everyone's got to get their Easter eggs, and
oh
I
yeah,
I finally broke down and made the Dubai chocolate, the viral Dubai chocolate.
oh, that's the pistachio
Yeah, the
chocolate.
pistachio with
Was
phyllo
it good?
dough.
Did it turn
Yeah,
out good?
yeah.
It's
Yes.
fast Sunday.
I mean, now we're really hungry, right? Let's not talk about chocolate. So today we want to talk about another very crucial element of miracles, and that is faith. Without faith, without a belief in Jesus Christ or his powers or the future or his glory or any of that, do miracles actually happen? And that's my question to you, Kristen. Do they happen?
The scriptures say they don't. You have to have faith in Jesus Christ. And I guess in some places where they don't believe in Jesus, I mean, you have to start with faith in God. That's the crucial element and you have to start with the desire. I should say that's where you start with the desire to have faith in God, because we don't always start with faith in God.
Yeah.
And you can progress.
That faith that they say is a little mustard seed. It's just such a small. I mean, you could start with such a little tiny hope, even to have faith, and from that, miracles can happen. Little miracles, big miracles, but they all require some element of faith. So, what is faith then? Like, if you were to say faith in God, what does that look like?
I think that means that you believe God is going to come into your life and help you, even though there's no physical proof of that. I think God specifically and purposefully makes it so there's a 50-50. There's a chance that he will help and there's a chance that he won't help. And the question is, do you step out of the default mode? Like things happen, the sun comes up, the sun goes down. Um, Stuff happens every day. We don't have to have faith in the stuff that we know is going to happen, but he gives us opportunities to say, I don't like what's happening. What's happening is a problem for me. Can I ask you for help? And that's faith, that you actually think that something will help you, or someone divine will help you to have a different outcome than the regular default outcome.
That's a beautiful example. I mean, we look at religion, and religion, even to join a religion, you have to have the faith that there is a God, or why would you even join?
Yeah, it's a hard.
And then that faith can be, like we said, it can be small, but it can grow into mighty, mighty faith. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Oftentimes, we don't really think about the element of faith when we're looking for miracles. We're just looking for God in our life. And that's because maybe at that point we do have somewhat of a knowledge that there is a God and he can be involved in our life. So maybe faith isn't as crucial because we actually already have that faith. We're just not recognizing it as faith, right?
Yeah, I think there's lots of levels of faith. One thing that comes to mind is, and I don't know if everybody has this, but I have prayed so many prayers looking for lost things so many times, especially keys. I don't know, because that's when you're urgent, like, and I've had miracles so many times in looking for lost things. Like recently, we were digging trenches to put in sprinklers, and we moved a whole bunch of rock to fill French drains, and we did all this stuff. And then the young man that was helping me do it couldn't find his single key for his car. And I'm thinking, there's a quarter acre of property here, and your key could be anywhere in the dirt, in the rocks, anywhere, you know? But we prayed, and there were two boys, and one of them I mean, literally, he walked over, picked up the key. It was the weirdest thing. But it wasn't weird.
It was a
It
miracle.
was a miracle, but because of experience.
Yeah.
Now, when you're facing a life and death faith, that is not an everyday thing. And that's where it's harder to have faith, because when you have huge things that are so much more important, that's when your faith is stretched and pulled uncomfortably, so uncomfortably.
Yeah, and that's a valid point. I'm reminded of a story that I heard probably 2 weeks ago, actually, about this kid that was doing a mission in Mexico City, and there was an earthquake that happened, and he ended up um, breaking his back, and really the doctor said, you're not gonna ever walk again. And this little missionary is like, yeah, I am gonna walk
Mm.
again, because God called me to a mission for 2 years, and I haven't finished that mission. I've only done like 7 months or so. So he went home. He had blessings. He went to the doctors. Again, the doctors are like, you're never going to walk again. And miracle of miracles, he got out of bed and he tried. He just kept putting the effort forth. And eventually he was able to go back to his mission, and he went back to his mission with two canes that he had to purposely use to make put one foot in front of the other. It was a tough thing, but he was determined to do it. He knew God wanted him to do that mission. And I think it was not too long into the second half of his mission, he went to see the mission president. And the mission president said, you are going to witness a miracle. Said, I want you to put your two crutches on the desk here, and you can walk right out of here and continue your mission. If you are confident that the Lord wants to do this for you, let's make it happen. And the kid put his two canes on the table and walked out of that room. And now, I mean, this is a story from quite a long time ago. Now he's a doctor. He doesn't have any problems with his legs or his back or anything. I mean, that's a big miracle. We don't come across big miracles like that often. And sometimes I think we might could come across maybe more miracles like that, but do we have the faith that God will do that miracle in our life? I
You can
mean,
see why, like the people in the time of Christ, why some actually did believe, and they saw and they believed it, and others heard and they just wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe it, even though it was happening around them. I mean, for us, we're 2,000 years distanced from that, but there were people then, they just didn't want to, they just couldn't believe it. And that's when there's something like this boy's determination, or the friends that lower the man with the palsy down into the Lord. you know it's an action rich requirement that we have to really believe in the face of all disbelief. We have to push that aside, and part of that is hard because the Lord doesn't always give you what you want.
yeah,
So there's an element of, well, he might not do it, so why would I hope? But at the same time, there's the element of, he could do that if you hoped.
yeah.
And you have to be okay with both outcomes, but you have to push.
Well, and two, that type of faith and that type of miracle, you would even recognize as a partnership with Christ. If that's what Christ really wants, and you want what he wants, the miracle is ripe for happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's a big step. That's a requirement that has to be made. Miracles, they're all over the place. Even in the scriptures, you had the Roman who had a servant who was sick,
Mm.
and he said, I can't go to Jesus and tell him, but you tell him all he has to do is say the word and he would be healed. And and Christ admired that type of faith. Wow. To even believe you don't have to come touch him, you don't have to bless him, but I believe you can do this. And he was healed.
And also this story of Jesus when the woman comes to him whose daughter is sick, and she says, Lord, help me. And he says, I'm sorry, but paraphrase, you're a Gentile and I'm called to the house of Israel, and so I'm not going to come help you. And she says the same kind of thing as the Roman. She's like, even the dogs eat the crumbs off the floor of the people that you're called to serve. I need those crumbs, Lord. And he's just in awe of her.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that, to make the Lord's day and go, wow, look at your faith. But that was a push. I mean, the Lord himself told her, hey, I'm not going to help you. Wow. And she's like, just anything.
And I think what's beautiful about bringing up these stories right now, sorry, is that we are in a time of miracles. We are here. These miracles are real, and we can have this type of miracle in our life. It's ripe for the taking. The Lord wants us to ask for big miracles, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Um, so both of us are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we have a prophet named Russell Nelson. And he said that, these last times are going to be the times of the greatest miracles that anyone has ever seen, because there's going to be the greatest resistance and the greatest darkness at the same time. So how are these great miracles going to happen if we don't ask for them?
Yeah, and these miracles can be, I mean, they can be as small as, which I would consider huge, as someone finding the Lord, someone finding Jesus in their life, someone opening that door and inviting him in. That's a big miracle. That's what the Father wants. He wants his children to know who he is. To, the raising of the dead, that also is a miracle, and that is also a miracle that we can expect right now. Both are powerful, powerful miracles. And right now I'm going through a situation with a loved one who is in a life or death situation, and yet the Lord is granting or offering or making available a miracle to happen in his life.
Yeah, so we're just going to close up pretty quick because we're trying really hard to do our 10 minutes.
Is
We're
it 10
try-
minutes?
I'm feeling like it's getting close, but we would just encourage all of you, please pray for each other. You'll see, I mean, we all have troubles in our lives, and it seems like they're kind of interspersed. Sometimes they stack up, and everybody has trouble at the same time, but more often than not, we we're in crises at different times, and we need to pray for each other. We need to care about each other. We need to have the needs of other people be as important to us as our own needs are. That's how we start to create the community that will be able to withstand the things that are going to happen and be ready for the Lord to come back. So we just would ask you to pray for Jenny's family. We'll pray for your families, and we will praise the Lord because he has the answers.
Yeah, and I'm going to end with just one really big miracle, since we're talking about big miracles. I have to say, when Moses was leading the people, leading his people to the promised land, um, they came across what, the big river.
An ocean.
Yeah, they got to the Red Sea, and when they got to the Red Sea, they were all wondering, okay, now we're trapped here. We can't go any further. And yet Moses put his foot in the water, and the water parted, and they were able to walk through. I think sometimes we don't know maybe even what miracle we're looking for, but put your faith in the Lord. trust that he can take down any of the problems that you are facing. If you turn to him, he will.
Don't waste the opportunity. This is every faithful thing, everything that requires faith is an opportunity to exercise your faith. So whether you get what you hope for or not, just reach out to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm lost. I'm lost and I need to be found. My situation is terrible. And I want you to come into my life. And you can Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You can say, but if not, I'm still going to worship the Lord. But the Lord appeared to them in the fiery furnace, and they were okay with either outcome. We're going to do what you want us to do. And if not, great. And he came. So let's not be the ones that, let's not be too hasty to not ask.
Yep. Let's exercise our faith. Let's grow our faith. And at the very least, turn to the Lord and ask for faith. If you feel
Yeah.
like you are faithless, lean on him and let him give you the faith. That's what the prophets did in the Bible. They all prayed to have more faith, and the Lord gave them more faith.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys, keep vigilant, keep up the faith. We'll see you next time.
We should have a closing
I don't
line.
even know. We should. I don't even know where my little mouse is.
It's too bright out.